and welcome back to the Author Roundup, a special segment of the Book Connection Show, where we meet up-and-coming indie authors and talk to them about their published books. Join us as we sit down with our next guest author. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Emma, and I will be your host today of Author Roundup. Today, I have a very special guest. She is a first-time published author, Yona Downs. Her first book is called Once Lost, Now Found, a Memoir, and she is here to tell us all about it. First off, I just want to say congratulations on your first book. You should be very proud, and it's quite an accomplishment.
Thank you so much. That's so
You're
sweet.
welcome. Yeah. And second, thank you for coming on the show. How are you?
Of course, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, of course. Well, great. Well, let's get right into it. Can you tell us a little bit more about your book, Once Lost, Now Found?
Yeah. Well, it's been such a journey, really. It's really just about, a young girl growing up with a family, and, she's looking for love, and she wants to be desired. She wants to be well. She just gets to a point where all of her hopes are like scattered, and she just doesn't know where to turn. And she just thought she could be loved by the one person that was supposed to love her, but it just doesn't work out that way.
Right.
It's just a journey for her, and she just wants to share it with all of you. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's great. So your book mentions a significant life lesson that you learned from your father about saying, see you later, instead of goodbye. So how does that lesson shape your perspective, and how does it become a central theme in your life?
Wow. See you later it's very special, because as I was writing this book, I lost a close friend, like my best friend, like a sister, right? And I didn't know that my dad saying that would mean much more to me later in life. But I just noticed he always said see you later when he would go off to work and stuff, and not really be home as much. And I don't know, I always caught it like all the time growing up, that he just didn't like to say goodbye. And I knew he always like lost people. So I think there was a silver lining behind what his words were that I caught on to. And I realized later on in life that see you later is the way I want to live. I don't want to have to really say goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah. Goodbyes are really hard. It's such like it can be a permanent, meaning in a sense. So yeah, see you later is a lot more positive and like you said. So in your book, you describe being 16 as the last perfect memory of being daddy's girl. Can you share more about that moment and how it contrasts with the challenges that follow?
My Sweet 16 was amazing. It was just so cool. I actually felt like a princess. For the first time in my life, really. I always imagine myself in a big castle, honestly, like every girl does, So my Sweet 16 was really special for me, because it was the last moment where we were all together, where nothing was wrong, where I captured my life exactly how I wanted it to be, where I looked beautiful, I felt beautiful, and I could see everyone I loved right in front of my eyes. And I knew at that point, this is what I always wanted. I didn't really need anything else except the people I love around me, and to know that I'm living exactly how I'm supposed to be. That matters. Living in the present, actually enjoying that moment where time stops and you're just thankful and you can't believe this is your life.
Right. Yeah. And everyone wants to feel that way, especially at such a young age as well. I mean, Sweet 16 is such a pivotal moment in a girl's life. And yeah, we all want to feel like that, you know. But your book touches on your experience of being abandoned by your father and navigating life storms alone. How did you cope during that challenging period, and what kept you going?
I can't say I really coped well at all. I pretty much ran away a lot.
Okay.
I made sure I wasn't home.
Mm-hmm.
I basically didn't like speak to him. I even like slept in cars. Like I even slept around people's houses. Well, I should say at my college, even though I commuted, so it was really hard to run away and to stay like out of that chaos that I already had in my mind. Like I didn't want it to be a reality, so I tried to run as I could. So coping was staying busy, was working, being with people, hanging around parties, guys. It was everything, trying to look for love, but I never could catch it.
Yeah, and it's hard to, you know, build trust after something like that has happened in your life, especially with men. Yeah, it can be really hard to build that trust again and to find it in someone else as well. So the narrative shifts, though, to how you were led into the arms of a loving and kind father who changed your heart. Can you share the pivotal moments or realizations that led to this transformation?
Well, I realized that I was never going to find the love that I needed in a person or a man, or even in my life. I think losing my life and everything I thought I wanted to love me the way I always wanted, and more than I could think or imagine. So Jesus met me. He met me in my mess. I just knew this was my father. This was the love of my life. And ever since then, it's just been a crazy journey.
When did this moment happen? How long have you been with God?
When did this happened? 2020 September. I would say 15th or so, around there. It was a Wednesday. I remember it was a Wednesday night. He showed me who he was. He showed me
Wow.
in my heart, and he showed me who he was and how he loves me, even when I thought I couldn't be loved.
Yeah. So without giving too much away, could you provide like a little glimpse into how some of the inspiring details of your journey from feeling lost to being found by a faithful God just a little bit more, so we can get a little more taste of it?
Oh, okay. So I was lost in the mess of men. Like I would just talk to like any guy, who showed me attention or was flattering, and I pretty much wanted to be known, but I also kind of like ran away from them at the same time, because that's what I was doing with my dad and my family. I wanted to be loved, but I ran away from ever possibly having that love too. So I kind of always kept men at like a distance, and they kept themselves at a distance too, I believe, because they could have they've probably felt it a little bit from me. So as I was going through this, I would date and I would just feel so empty, like more and more empty as I kept going, and I would just cry out for God, and I would be like, I would journal, and I would just journal and be like, Lord, like I can't do this. And I would talk to God as if I knew him in ways, like asking him, crying for him, but I didn't truly know him in my heart. I just knew he was God. He was up there, but I never knew he loved me, and I never knew he could change me and help me. So I just wrote letters to him. I wrote letters to my dad. I wrote letters to my mom. I wrote letters to the guys who broke my heart. Like I just wrote and I wrote and I didn't notice, you know. So in all of that, I was so broken, so numb, didn't have purpose. I didn't understand why I was here. And I felt numb all the time. And in my numbness and in my giving up of life and believing that I had no purpose here, I just wanted to die. I just wanted to completely die. I didn't want to keep living like this, you know, and I didn't know how to get out of it. I thought it would be forever. I thought there's no way out of this. And Jesus gave me the way out. He gave me a vision and he showed me I'm the way out. I'm in the doorway and this is the way. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And he saw me. He saw me in my sin. He saw me in my pain. He saw me in my numbness. And he wanted to take me out. He just wanted to save me because he's Savior. So that's a little bit of it.
Okay. Yeah. How has journaling helped you write out your thoughts, and has it become sort of a healing process? And I'm sure writing your book as well as journaling, how has that helped healing for you?
Oh, wow. Journaling is like God sharing thoughts with you that you never knew you had. It's like as you write outward on a piece of paper with a pencil or pen, healing is coming in, but you're letting everything else out. And that way you can just pour out more. And it's just more of God and more of his love, and he's pouring in love and truth, and he's taking out all the lies, all the stuff that has caught on to you in your heart, and that's actually not what God wants for you. And journaling was always my life source, but I didn't realize that it would become something that could help other people.
Right. In your book. Yeah. So how is your book laid out then? It's a memoir, but do you have your journal entries or how is it? There's chapter. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, God gave me all of my journals to write this book. Like, they just showed up out of nowhere, and I didn't even know that I had these journals, some of them. I didn't know I had these letters, like some of them. The letters that I put in this book were letters that I wrote when all of this was happening. And I didn't know that God was going to bring it back to me to write, to use these letters in this book. I had no idea. But it was all there for me. I didn't have to go looking. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I just got goosebumps. I'm just like,
it was crazy. I said the same thing. This is literally like so crazy. No one would believe this. It's wild.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So many listeners may experience these certain things that you've experienced, a broken heart, shattered hopes. What advice or reflections do do you want to give listeners that have these similar challenges based on your own journey?
Wow. I just want to say God is close to the brokenhearted, and he binds up all your wounds. And Jesus is gentle with you. It hurts. Healing hurts, and it takes time. But God will do it perfectly. Like so perfectly. And sorrow, it will always turn to joy.
Oh, I love that.
You know, people are here to do what Jesus came here to do. Because he says, like, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to heal the brokenhearted, to heal the brokenhearted.
That's amazing.
To set the prisoners free. That's only what Jesus can do, you know? We can only help each other as people and love each other and share our stories, really.
Yeah.
Testimonies to people so they can know they're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So what inspired you to want to share your story and write and publish a book?
That story's fun. So this is crazy. Another crazy thing. So I got saved in September 2020. And January 1st, 2021. I was at a prayer retreat for the weekend. And I was just at a service or like a class part of the session for the weekend, and there were prophets there. These two guys, just regular guys, one with dreads, one who was dirty blonde and tall, and the other one had dreads. The one who had dreads, he saw me and he said, you with the Bible in your hand. You with the Bible in your hand. God has put on your heart a book to write. And that resistance, that fight to write it, isn't from you, it's from the enemy. Because the enemy only goes after pure gold. The enemy only robs pure gold from an actual place that has full security. He doesn't want anything good from God to happen. So that resistance you're having about not writing it is actually from the enemy, because it's from God to write. And he said, I see you being an author of many books. And when people read your stuff, when people read your books, something is going to change inside of them. They're going to change completely. And I see your books helping people with learning disabilities, with dyslexia, with writing disabilities, with reading disabilities. And they're going to be changed forever.
Wow.
So after that, I was like, wow. I knew what I was supposed to do. I knew I was supposed to start writing. So I went in my room, I was praying on my knees, and I was just talking to God. I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want me to write? And he brought me open to Isaiah. I believe it was Isaiah 43 or Isaiah 29. And it was talking about writing on a scroll so that it could be there forever. I said, writing. Okay, got it. I'll write it down as a book. Okay. But what am I supposed to write? What am I supposed to say? And he said, write the loving kindnesses of the Lord. And so, loving kindnesses. Okay, so how am I going to share how God is loving, and how am I going to share that God is kind? And there was no other way except sharing how he was loving and kind to me.
You.
So I wrote my testimony and how I got here to this point, and just who he is, everything about who he is, and his love letters to his children, to you, to me, to everyone who sees this, who reads this, who hears this. It's for this world and who's broken and who needs to know that they're known.
Wow, that's amazing. The person that you were talking about at the retreat, does he know that you published a book?
Nope. I don't even remember. I would have to find out from other people.
Yeah.
What his name? I don't even remember. I think his name was like Zeke or something. I don't remember.
Well, thank you, Zeke.
Yeah, thank you, Zeke.
Thank you. So you mentioned that you have been journaling ever since you were young. So how was it writing this book? Did you like it? So obviously you enjoy writing. What was that like?
Writing this book was amazing, honestly. I started like a journal pretty much first.
That's what you were familiar with, right?
Yeah, I had to start with what I knew. So I ended up writing at night when everyone was asleep, actually. So I spent hours at night when the world was asleep writing this book with the Lord. And my hands just went. It just flew with the Holy Spirit. Like almost like a ghostwriter, but it was from God. Like it was so cool. And it was just like my heart pouring out on pages. And I was being healed, like you said, and in the process, like through the night. And I would go to bed around like 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
All night, and I wouldn't stop. And I finished this in 3 months.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. So the book was really like done in 3 months. I ended up like restructuring it and editing and rewriting it and just sharing this story, not as a summary, but so that you guys can read my heart and read God's heart through it, and to join you guys into my life. So I had to restructure it, and that's what really took a while.
Yeah. And so when did you start like actually sitting down and writing your book once you went on that retreat? Was it very much after that, or?
It was right after.
You're like, I need to do this.
I got real busy. I got really busy.
That's awesome. Could you recount any moments from your writing journey that has had a lasting impression on you?
Lasting impression. I would say repentance. I would say the part of writing this book that I repented. I said, I'm so sorry before the Lord for being so angry at my dad. So angry at my dad when there are so many things that I did that God forgave me for, and how could I not forgive my own dad for the things he did? And it broke me. Writing it and finally seeing how God is just so good to us.
Yeah.
He's so good to us. And it doesn't matter really how bad your sin is. Like, that's not Jesus. Like, Jesus took it all for us, whatever it was, from the worst thing to the smallest. And he see that. He made me see that. And I'll never forget that moment where, resentment was shattered completely.
Right. And that was through your writing process.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
What was the most difficult part of your writing process? Just like writing in general. Like, did you have like a difficult part, or did it all just come pretty naturally?
The writing came naturally, but I would say the editing didn't.
Okay.
Like,
Editing is
yeah.
hard. Yeah. Yeah. It really is. What section of your book hits home the most for you? Is there a section that holds near and dear to your heart without giving too much away?
Oh yeah, definitely the part with Carrie and Jake, my best friends, because I actually stopped writing, like editing the book when my best friend Carrie passed away.
I'm so
That
sorry.
May. Thank you. Yeah, it was May, about 2 years ago, over 2 years, May 4th, coming up. And I couldn't get myself to get back to it. I couldn't get myself to get back to writing about like our fun, our joy, our happiness together in the book when I was far from happy.
Yeah.
Not being here, you know, and when I was finally, it was hard. It was hard, but it was beautiful. It was hard, but it was so beautiful to write all the joy we had together, you know, and it was just extraordinary to just almost see her again through the writing. I could see her. I could see her smile. I could see her laugh. I can hear her laugh. I could remember our memories, and I could feel like I would be there just a little longer with her.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I'm trying
so
not to cry.
I know you can cry if you want to. I've already cried during an interview today, so it's fine. I'm a very emotional person. If you cry, I'm gonna cry. Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your friend, and I know she would be so proud of you, and her spirit obviously is living forever and ever throughout your book.
Yes.
What was it like to receive your book for the first time and to like hold it in your hands? What was that like?
Oh my. I just knew it was already written in heaven. It was like, it was always there. I just never got to see it yet and feel it yet. It was like, man, I knew this is what God wanted. And I was so happy that God chose me to do it. And I was almost in disbelief at times too, because I would just touch it and I would like, I'd be like, this is real. Like, it was just so cool. Yeah. And sometimes I still just can't believe I did that, because it just flew. And I don't know, sometimes I'm just like, wow, like that was a dream.
What has been the nicest feedback you've gotten from your book so far?
Ooh, feedback, that was so cool. That's been awesome. Like, really just people sharing how their relationship changed with their mom. Or, like, this was recent. My friend got, like, ordered a book, and her sister ended up in the hospital from, like, a car accident. And she ended up bringing the book to her in the hospital. But then she ended up giving it to the nurse there.
Oh my God.
Apparently, who was going through a lot of things. So I found that really funny, and I thought it was so much like the gospel.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they first, like, her sister received, then her sister gave it to her, she received, and then she just shared it. And like, I was like, wow, Jesus, like, this is amazing. And she was like, wow, Yona, like, because she told me at church, and she was like, Yona, your book's gonna change the world. Like, So many people are being changed by this book. And it was just something I just didn't know. Like, it was just so funny. She witnessed it and she decided to tell me. And I was like, wow, like, I love these stories. And that's just a few. There's so many.
So yeah, how is feedback from family and friends and your faith community? I'm sure everyone was so supportive and just loved that you know, shared your story, and so many people can be impacted by your story. And like you said about the story about your friend giving it to a nurse, like that just shows that it's for everyone. Like everyone wants inspiration and everyone wants a faith-driven life in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bet feedback has been really heartfelt.
Yeah, even from my mom. Man, she just couldn't stop crying. She said it made her realize a lot of things about being a good mother. You know, like it made her pray and like seek God for more wisdom as a mother. I thought that was beautiful because I'm not a mother yet. You know, I'm not even a wife yet, and I know that journey is a lot of responsibility, and it's really hard. You know, so for her to say that, you know, like, your book, like, brought me to God, brought me back to God. I was like, for my own mom to say that, and people at work, like, teachers, tell me how it transformed their lives, and how they want to, like, get back to their faith and get back to Jesus.
Wow.
And just be there for her kids more, and, you know, really just like live a life worthy of Christ, you know, because he makes us worthy. It's nothing we can do, because salvation is a free gift, you know. He is a free gift that we just have to ask for and ask for more. And it's just beautiful to hear everyone's stories, like people open up when they have your book. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who is an aspiring writer that wants to publish or consider publishing their first book?
Go for it. Go for it. Do it. Enjoy it. You know, ask God, trust God. Take your time, you know, be patient in the process. You know, life is about the journey. It's not about the promise and the destination. Because the journey with God is so much more beautiful than ever reaching the mountaintop. You know, so just enjoy it with the Lord, and ask him to tell you what to write, like how to start, and just have fun with him. You know, he's the best teacher. He's the counselor. He's everything, and he'll give you peace and love and joy through it. And it'll be fun. It won't be dreadful or like a job or like things you don't want to do.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Do you have any personal or professional goals for 2024? Any book goals or anything like that?
Oh yeah, always.
I love it.
Some personal goals would be to actually like continue with my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah, it's called Author and Finisher. So I just pretty much share like the word of God. I pretty much just share, like recently I shared John 13, just reading the Bible and sharing what God has spoken to me and how he's changed my life through his word. It's funny because God just gives me like these slogans and stuff. It's hilarious. So he goes, like for John 13, he goes, clean feet, pure heart, can't lose. And like, it's really just like my anthem, but it was fun to just share it to others on YouTube. So I'm just going to keep doing that, enjoying that with the Lord and for people, whoever needs it. And also just finishing up, doing my second book, My second book is coming out
Second
eventually.
book. Yay!
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to really get back into it.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love it. I do. I love it. I love it. I could just do it my whole life. So, yeah.
What type of book is that? Is it a memoir or is it what else? What is
It's
it?
like a mix. I would say a
Okay.
memoir slash devotional,
Oh,
but
nice.
more so a devotional form. It's kind of like nothing you've seen before, though.
Okay.
Oh, it's a little exquisite.
Oh, exquisite. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's really great. We can expect more from you. I'm so excited.
Yes.
So I do have two more questions for you today, and before we wrap up here, and the first one is your book is described as a true story of becoming a cherished daughter of a faithful God. How has faith played a role in your healing process? And well, I guess because since we already kind of talked about that, what message do you hope readers, especially those facing abandonment, take away from your story?
Yeah. I want people to know that they're very loved.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know that they're loved beyond they can imagine to be loved by God. Mm. And He will never leave you. If everyone leaves you, if your mother, your father forsakes you, the Lord will never leave you. He'll never leave your side. He'll always be your best friend. He'll be your husband. He'll be your warrior, your refuge, your hiding place. He'll be your joy, your laughter, and He'll make your heart sing. Because you're happy, and He'll never leave you. There's something so special about knowing that you're never alone because of the Lord. Simply because of the Lord, you'll never be alone, and you will never be lonely again. When you know this, when you know that Jesus is your home, He's your life, and He loves you more than anything or anyone in the world. Absolutely anyone in the world. So I think that's the biggest message about abandonment. Abandonment isn't true because Jesus is always there.
There. Oh, I love that. And second, what impact do you hope your book has on readers?
I hope this book brings reconciliation and restoration of relationships and realizing that, there's nothing that God can't do. There's nothing that God can't fix. And there's nothing that God can't mend and make more beautiful. He loves to fix messes and He loves to change hearts. So there's nothing He can't do for us, So I want us to believe in Jesus and believe that God does the impossible things in our lives for us, and that will never change.
Oh, I love that. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today. Do you have any other closing thoughts or messages you'd like to share with our audience?
No, that's really it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And you do have social media accounts as well. I checked out your Instagram and it's great. You should check it out, those who are listening or watching. Can you tell us where we can find you over on there?
Yes. My Instagram is at Brielle. And I also have 2 accounts at Once Lost Now Unfound on Instagram as well. And then my YouTube channel is Author and Finisher. So I'm on there. And yes, just reach out anytime. I would love to hear your story, hear what you think about the book, anything. And I'm available. And I love to talk, obviously. So that's the way.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Yona. You are inspiring, and I'm so happy you published your first book, and we expect very, very amazing books, more books from you, and we're so excited for you. If you're interested in reading Yona's inspiring story, head to westbowpress.com to purchase from our online bookstore. And if you prefer Amazon or Barnes & Noble, it is there as well. Thank you so much again, Yona, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Emma.
Yes, of course. And thank you so much for joining me and for listening as well. And I will see you next time.